Yes, yes, family. Furious Styles and Empress Diana Wright is here on Afjam Radio. And guess what? We have the good brother, the doctor, Wednaud Ronelus, in the house this evening. And just real quick, man, I want to just read through here. The brother is a STEM learning scientist and engineer with the New York City Board of Education, an educational researcher with over 2 decades of teaching experience. He's engaged in artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and Internet of Things. That's something I have no idea what that is right there. Educational research studies, blockchain, DeSci, DeFi, NFT, cryptocurrency, cyberspace, metaverse, Web3. Man, his work from the Google AIY project has been published in the Magpie, the official Raspberry Pi magazine. He's the founder of the Alchemist Club Studios, LLC, and he's the ambassador of Neil Stephenson's startup, Lamina One. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Wednaud Ronelus. How you doing today, brother?
All is well, my brother. All is well. Thank you for this astounding intro, you know.
Oh, man,
I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you joining us today, man, to educate us on this tech wave that we find ourselves in today. I was just reading something here, man. What was it? I just read it. I said I didn't know what it was. I'm trying to look for it again.
Is it the magpie thing? Well, just all of these things that I'm not
really all of these things here. But before we go any further, would you like to introduce yourself to the people that don't know anything I may have missed?
Man, listen, you did a phenomenal job with the intro.
Appreciate it.
Well, I'll just keep it short. What the brother just said just now. This is just a snippet of what Dr. R is. We could go by Dr. R here, Dr. Ronelus, Dr. R,
all right.
Alchemist 19 on the metaverse space. My background, it's in heavy-duty science. I'm a biochemist by training. And just to give you guys a quick synopsis, the issue that led me to teaching, I just want to start with that, is the absence of us when you are a person who don't want to be an exceptionalist. That's a big mistake. When you're a smart person, you walk in a room, everybody says, oh, here's the only black person that could do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
That narrative has to die. That's why I went to start teaching in the New York City Board of Education so I can raise 1 million little me. So I'm going to walk you all through my journey for over 2 decades in the system and where we are right now. We are about to face an avalanche right now. Black and brown people need to get ready for what's coming.
Yes.
So I'm here to help out and guide the way.
Okay. And I appreciate the work that you're doing in the community, brother. Look like you're doing a lot of good things out there. And you're in New York, correct?
Yes, I'm in New York City, yes.
Okay, yes, sir. So how's it out there? Is it as far as tech-wise in the city, is it high? Man. Is it growing out there or what?
New York City, like they said, right? If you can't make it, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. And there was a time the tech space used to be in San Francisco, as you know. But right now, quite honestly, with this Web3 and AI and where we are heading, New York City hold the crown for anything related to technology because this city, you name it, it's already here. So it's a buzzing space of all things related to where education and technology is heading. And that's why, being in the New York City Board of Ed, it's a gift in a sense because you can see what's really going on. And I quite honestly, black, like I said, black, or everybody, but more specifically for our people, we have work to do, especially in New York City, because New York City is the largest school system in the United States. We have about 1.1 million kids in public schools. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty big.
1 million.
Yeah, 1.1.
How do you even count that? That many students.
It's a lot. That's why it's such a challenge. Yep.
So in New York, like, say, like with your daily shopping, is it? Do they make it available, like, to pay with crypto, or how's it out there right now?
Well, to be honest with you, everybody's sleeping at the switch right now.
Okay.
You know, you'll be lucky to find, people who even the word crypto is becoming common now because of what's going on in the U.S. government and these folks who have the information, who are out there bringing the blockchain and the crypto and the Bitcoin. You hear this stuff is all over the place now.
Right.
So it's becoming a common language. But the average person who's just trying to eke out a living has no idea even what that entails. You know, so I would say those who know, they keep that information as an insider knowledge, but the average person really has no idea what's going on. Right. As of now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So as far as you mentioned blockchain there, now that's the technology behind Bitcoin, or how does that work?
Yeah. Well, the blockchain, sometimes people get caught up in all of these fuzzy words. Where as a teacher, one thing that those of us who teach, who has the gift for teaching, what I always tell my students is always find whatever you're learning, find something you already know and trying to relate it to it. So therefore you have something to stand upon and you can start to make sense out of what you're learning. A blockchain is nothing more than your bank account, right? You go to the bank, you withdraw $20, and they stamp it or they give you a receipt that says this person withdraw $20. And that is recorded on the ledger. Anybody can see that you have removed $20 or add $20. All the blockchain does is just digital ledger. It does the same thing. If you make a transaction, it just recorded. That's it. Okay. That's all the blockchain means. And the only thing that's making it interesting is it's just that it can be applied to anything. That's why we call it decentralized, right? Okay. I can use that technology to do whatever I want with it. For example, let's say I'm an artist, correct? Right. There's a time, if I'm a musician, I would have to go to the big houses of production where these harbor sharks take 70% of your IP and probably pay you 30%. What the blockchain has done now, it allows the artist to sell directly to his fan. You can, you don't need the middleman anymore. Right. You can directly transact straight to your people that your followers are. So as a result, that's where the power of this thing lies. It's a new technology that allow creative people to not have to starve anymore. You have full autonomy of your assets. That's all it means.
Wow. So who is the brain behind this Bitcoin? Like, who is it? I heard you say it was decentralized, but how did it come into existence? Like who?
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
My background is in heavy duty research. I won't entangle us in the details here, but I'll put it this way. In 2009, they claimed that somebody named Satoshi Nakamoto invented Bitcoin, right? But this thing is shrouded in mystery. Bitcoin is honestly the whoever came up with the Bitcoin idea it wasn't one person. It was just a group of brainiacs who were probably blockchain engineers or electrical engineers, but they had the knowledge to understand there's a way now because the technology now is at a point where you can have digital money, right? So they were able to create this technology. And as a result of this technology, Bitcoin came about in 2009, right? So now the question becomes, who is the master of X, Y, and Z? Quite honestly, this is where this thing become really interesting and amazing. There is no master. That's why it's decentralized. Okay. It means if you learn what the technology is, you become the master. The next person next to you become the master. And that's what we're trying to get away from. The idea of there's a master in the room and everybody have to bow down to this golden calf. Those days are over. Those days are over. You know what I'm saying? So blockchain, crypto, and all of that stuff, you know, I want people who listen to what I'm saying here, what the doc is mapping out here. We have found a way to free the people. For too long, black and brown people have been marginalized. Absolutely. Even now, I'm sure your brothers and sisters know that this diversity, equity, and inclusion is being killed. Yes. But rest assured, we have a technology now where we can empower ourselves. Okay? No matter what's happening right now, there's a way around this. And my job here is to just clear the smoke and just make you guys understand just a little bit. Even if you get one little snippet out of this, you say, man, this stuff is very complicated, but at least I understand this small component. Then I'll feel that my job is done. But there's no master in this thing. We all can learn it. It's not that hard, man. It just takes a little bit of effort. And once again, like I said, when a learner is learning something, you have to find a way to tie it to something you already understand. That's why in the beginning, when I started off, I said, well, take your bank account, for example. You make a transaction, it's recorded. Blockchain is the same thing. We just call it a digital ledger. In a bank, you have a physical ledger where somebody recorded that thing in a book. Back in the day, people used to go to the bank, right? You take out the money, somebody penciled it in, correct? Right. All we do now is we don't need a physical person to pencil it in. The computer is able to do it on its own and give you a receipt. That's all it is.
Wow, that's amazing. I was into crypto. I mean, I still have some crypto, but I'm not into trading at all. I'm not a daily trader, a weekly trader, or a yearly trader. It's just sitting there. Yes. You know what I mean? But when I was into it, I was I was getting into it. I went down a rabbit hole with the smart contracts and things like that. And and some investments, got caught up in some pump and dump investments, man. What would you say is a good place for people to start, a safe place for people to start?
Well, honestly, let me just backtrack a little bit. Right now in Board of Ed, I have a bunch of educators. These are folks or brilliant people, teachers. They don't even have a clue what a blockchain is, what a crypto is. But since, the man in the White House is collecting millions on this thing, so everybody now is on this crypto business, this Bitcoin. Like, this Bitcoin become the new standard, like the gold mine of our day and age, right? Right. So where would the person start? Quite honestly, I would advise everyone who really want to get somewhere, you can just start with Coinbase. Coinbase. Google Coinbase. What is Coinbase? Coinbase is nothing, secret. I'm going to give you a perfect example. I guarantee you, everyone who's listening to us right now, they have already a Venmo, Cash App, right? What are these things? A digital wallet. They're already using it. Same thing. That's all it is. You put your money in Venmo, you walk this store, you just scan and you pay, right? So what's the difference? There's no difference. Venmo itself is a digital wallet. Cash App is a digital wallet. The people are already using this thing, but people get caught up in these buzzwords and these techie word, and then before you know it, what the word does is it cloud their mind. It cloud their mind and make them believe, oh my God, this stuff is too complicated. I can't understand it. No, the best thing to do, get a Coinbase wallet. Just Coinbase.com. Get a Coinbase wallet to start nice and easy. And here's what you do. Let's say you want to put a little money away. You have your bank account already set up with it. You buy $30 of Bitcoin. Right now, Bitcoin is $90,000 per Bitcoin. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. That's not how it works. You buy what you can. If you want to buy $5 worth of Bitcoin, you buy $5 worth of Bitcoin. Let's say right now the Bitcoin is on $90,000. You buy it for $5. Next week, you shoot to $150,000. Your $5 become $100. You can say, "Oh, I'm good with that." You can withdraw it whenever you want.
Right.
It's your money. But that's what the power of this thing is. But our people, they just lack knowledge. Okay. As we know, man, I don't want to go into the into the books, but as you know, our people are destroyed by the lack of knowledge. And this is what all this get us. This is what all this get us. We are always the last to know. We are always the last to know. And we have to change this narrative. And that's why the doc is here. All right?
And I appreciate you, bro, for breaking that down right there.
Yeah.
So the wallet. So you get the Coinbase account.
Okay.
You buy your Bitcoin, and then you transfer the Bitcoin to your wallet, or how does that work?
Once, it's the same thing. Let me ask you a question, right?
All right.
Somebody got a Cash App account, right? They got their bank account connected to it. If they want to add $30 to their Cash App, they could just, because your bank account already connected to it. So you just go to the Cash App app, you add $30 to the Cash App, you go to a coffee shop, you pay with the Cash App app, right? Same thing. Somebody Venmo you some money, right? They use their bank account. They got to pay you. They send you the money on Venmo. You have two choices. You can go to a store that use Venmo. You scan, you pay, or you could transfer that Venmo money to your bank account. Yes, correct or not?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so Coinbase is the same thing. There's no magic involved. It's the same thing.
Okay.
You have Coinbase. You want to buy some Bitcoin. You already have your bank account connected. You just go to Coinbase, say, okay, I want to buy $30 a day worth of Bitcoin. I see Bitcoin is very low right now. Bitcoin is going for $70,000 a Bitcoin. It's low. I know this market is gonna explode. Let me buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. You leave it, don't touch it, leave it alone. And some people, the problem we have is we quickly ready to jump the gun. Oh my God, it's going down. Let me take it out. No, that's stupid. That's foolish. Nah, man, you don't touch that money. That's an asset, man. You leave it alone.
Right.
Don't pretend it doesn't exist. You could cash it out 20 years from now when one big Bitcoin becomes $500,000. Your $100 become $100,000. Let's talk, brother. This is not a game.
That's sweet.
And we're not playing.
Yes, sir. And it's going to go there. I'm optimistic that it will reach that point.
It's going to go there.
Yeah.
You better wake up the people, man. It's going to go there.
Yes, sir.
Once again, the doc is here, man. Let's talk.
Yeah, man. We don't want to be left behind.
I have a question, Doctor.
Talk to me.
So this question, I'm a total novice in this, right? And my question might be a little bit too early or too late. I don't know.
Go for it.
Okay. So here is the situation. For example, look at what's going on in some of the Francophone countries, like, the African countries, where they have to, like France, they have to buy their own money from France, right?
Yes.
So now, let's say one of these countries should decide, all right, then we're going to create our own currency, and this is what we're going to use, and we're going to trade this way. How would that, quote unquote, crash the market? I'm like, how would they be able to pay back the people or the other countries that they say that they're indebted to? How would that work for them? Because I really think that's a good idea to have their own. But how would that work for them?
Well, before I answer your question, I just want to let you know I love your mind, because you're an abstract thinker. Nobody who's not a thinker can project and say what you just said. Here's your answer to you, and it might answer Africa's question. And I'm going to say this very heavily. We will soon reach a point where Africa must be free, like Marcus Garvey said, and all the others, those who know what's happening right now. What happened is, if you look I'm going to go very heavy here. If you look what's going on with this tariff and all this crazy madness, the black and brown people or the red people of the world, they reach a point now where they no longer want to play games.
Right.
And it has always been a point where any nation in Africa that's trying to rebel or that trying to go against the grain of things, either get assassinated or they snuff them out because we didn't have a system that frees the people. France or any other entities no longer have any sovereignty in Africa anymore. Those days are over and they're dead. Right now, Africa is moving. I mean, if we saw Wakanda forever and we saw what's going on, this is exactly where we are heading. We are heading into space right now, and the youth in Africa right now. I'm not sure if you're aware, like when you talk about Nigeria, you talk about Ghana, you talk about Kenya, and many different places in Africa. The young people over there, they're already transacting on the blockchain.
Wow.
So soon you're going to reach a point where the people already know what it is. You no longer need to depend on no World Bank and all of these people who put you in chain for hundreds of years because you're borrowing against nonsense, right? And what's going to happen, to answer your question, I'm going to answer your question. Those like Burkina Faso and those places you're talking about, those francophone spaces, they can give France back its money back with interest if they need to, because the assets they have on the ground, no technology can exist in this world without rare elements that are only found in Africa in certain places. I'm a biochemist, okay? Wow. I'm a chemist. Wow. That's my training. So I understand the game, you know, and we will soon reach a point soon. Once these nations in Africa take control of their natural resources, Africa, as we already know, is not a country, it's a continent. With the blockchain, the transaction that will happen, Africa will be the gold mine. And they know what's coming. So your rest assured, Africa is on its way to self-sovereignty, where because the technology, again, this blockchain is a train of freedom. Like I told people in one video I made with Entity, and I'll send it to you guys. It's not a BLACK chain. It's the BLOCK chain. It's a freedom train that's heading our way. And rest assured, once again, Africa will free itself, and the blockchain is the road to freedom. It will happen. Okay. And the young people over there, they're already doing it. It's just happening, but you will live to see it.
Okay.
It's happening.
That sounds good to me. All right.
It's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, what do you think about BRICS?
Oh, I mean, again, look, there's a lot of upheaval and a lot of shaking of the world, you know, and all these entities and everything that's happening. I personally believe that, you know, all of these different spaces, they are shaking things up. They are moving up, and there's a lot of turmoils and avalanche that's heading our way. And these things must come to pass, you know. Right. And I think, you know, the European entities, they understand what the time is, right. You know. Everybody sees the time, and BRICS, U.S., Caribbean. I just read an article. I sent it to you guys where, you know, in Gemdown, Jamaica, you know what's happening down there. You know, PM Patterson, and his words cut so deep. You know what I'm saying? When he says something like, "We are at a point now where robots are being built that can think for themselves," and yet we at a point we have kids. Well, he's practically saying we are in an antiquated or in an obsolete state where people of African descent are 1,000 years behind. We're practically living in a stone age where everything else is moving at the speed of light, and if we're not careful. What he's really saying is there'll be no catching up, and that's why I'm here, because I honestly believe that this time around, I told Brother Rue this a long time, and I told Brother Aymara this a long time in many work that we've done with them. If we do not, if black people, brown people, whatever label they want to give themselves, do not get on board with this Web3 space that's happening. This time, there will be no catching up, because you're going to reach a point soon where these guys are already building spaces to get out of here. The Earth will just be used as a battery, like in the Matrix, to to harness energy. You know, unless you have $1 million or $5 million to take one of Elon Musk's space shuttles out there and go to Mars and hang out, you're going to find yourself, excuse my French now, in the shithole that will be left here. Right. Okay? So we have to be careful that we don't get left behind in this Web3 space. And it's early, and we as a people, we got to educate ourselves. You know, I learned all that stuff on my own. You know, I'm educated and all that stuff, but I didn't know anything about no blockchain or cryptocurrency or all that stuff. Right. I said, you know what? Let me just sit down, focus and discipline. Let me teach myself all this stuff. And I'm a self-taught person. That's how I learn all this, and I'm sharing with everybody here.
Awesome.
So our people got to get on board.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you, what do you think is the main reason for people of African descent seem to be behind? Is it because, like in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't think that they are behind because they do not have the brain power or the skills or the, you know, the acumen to get there. But I think maybe because of the constant oppression from the outside world, from, you know, that's trying to keep them busy, trying to hustle a dollar to buy a bread, you know what I mean, other than to really put themselves at work, learning, and just like you are at liberty to do. Do you think that's the real reason why?
Let me answer that question for you. Bob Marley once said, they asked him a question, he said, "Sister, I bring the ghetto uptown." The thing is, this idea, look at me. You're speaking to a man here. I graduated high school with a 68 average. I graduated New York City Board of Ed. I went to one of the worst high schools in the late 80s, Thomas Jefferson High School. This
Sounds
is the same
bad.
high school. Yeah, man, this is the same high school. I'm giving a little back history on Dr. R. This is the same high school. I was there that day when this kid pulled a gun and shot this kid point blank. I was right there. Wow. It was the same high school that started the metal detectors in as a system. I was right there. When I had reached a point over there in East New York where whether I live or die, I didn't really care anymore, man. What happened? There's a space of trauma you reach where you might as well be somewhere where bombs are being dropped on you every day, right? Gosh. But to answer your question, it's not a question of cognitive ability because the same person I graduated 68 average, I got a doctorate degree in computing and education. I got multiple degrees. So we as a people, there's all these hidden fences or rules. You can't see those rules because they are invisible. Those constraints are designed in a way, they are engineered in a way to just keep you in your place. You know, unless you are a person who understand and you play the role of the spook who sat by the door so you can see the theater that's being played and understand the game, you're going to find yourself in trouble. So to answer your question, it's not a question of cognitive ability. Those people ain't smarter than us or in any capacity. I sit with the best in the room. I sit with people in the room. When they come walk up, they got to see Dr. R and shake because you ain't smarter than me. You might have assets, access to resources better than me, but it doesn't mean you're smarter than me. Right. So, and this is the narrative, again, like when I started here and we were started to talk, the first thing I said is, we black and brown people, there's a sickness we have, we need to eradicate and get rid of it. And it's all over the Caribbean and Africa and elsewhere. And I want everybody that's listening to this to hear what I'm going to say. The idea when a black person step into space where you are so happy and comfortable, where somebody can say, "Oh my God, this is the smartest black person here." You better run away from that ideology because a lot of time, because we get caught up in our ego, we welcome that nonsense. When you accept that, you're accepting the fact that the masses of black people cannot accomplish what you accomplish. Wow. You, by some miracle of nature, you managed to make it here and sit among these good old people. That's not how it works. This is pure nonsense because then he's always going to be the first black person that do this, the first black person that do that. Right. Why it always have to be the first black person?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when you do that, you restrain the people, because then other people can believe that they're like, oh, I can't accomplish that.
Wow.
Only the exceptionalists among us, maybe God blessed this one person among us. Nonsense. We all have the capability to be whatever we want to be. As a teacher, I can tell you that's the narrative we need to change. We people of color, we need to get this nonsense out of our head and stop feeling important because we're the only black person sitting at that table. I don't want to be the only black person at that table. If I'm the only black person at that table, that's a problem for me.
Wow.
I totally agree. Man, you mentioned Web3, and I want to get back to that. But Web3. But before we do that, I want to try to wrap up with the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency real quick. So as far as investing and making money in crypto, so we talked about the wallets and the Coinbase. Mm-hmm. Now, what about investing as far as white papers is concerned, and as far as like mining? Is those still good ways to invest in crypto? Okay.
Sure. Let me just clear that for you. Right now, honestly, somebody who really want to make a lot of money. I'm not going to use the S word of money, but a lot of people want to make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. First of all, you got to be willing to do the work, man. It's like going to the gym. You know, you're not going to see no result. You got to build your cardio. You got to start push-up every day, do 30 push-up, 50 push-up until you get 100 push-up a day. The problem we have, we got to exercise our mind. Okay. Right now, for example, you see Trump came out with this meme coin. You got the Trump coin, the Melania coin.
Doge.
I got brothers, man. I got some heavy-duty folks that I'm working with. And by the way, you can share the Alchemist Club Studio Discord server. Before I answer your question, we have what I've done. I didn't go over this yet. Okay. What I created this space called Alchemist Club Studio Discord server. Okay. And anybody that's listening to me right now, if you're not on Discord, you're wasting your time because that's where it's happening. Every young person that's out here, these high school kids, these Gen Zs, Alpha, and beyond, they are all on Discord. Okay. Every Web3 company that's pushing the new market space with creator economy and open metaverse, they all have a Discord presence. Discord is where it's happening. What I've done, I create this Alchemist Club Studio Discord server where if you join anything related to what we're discussing here, think of it as a knowledge oasis. Okay. I create a school in the metaverse where anyone on this planet can come in, join the Discord. In 2-3 weeks, whatever the topic is you want to explore, you may come in, you have no idea what an NFT is. In 3 weeks, you'll be an expert. Why? Not only the information and knowledge is there, but it's the community we have. Okay. Let's say you come in, you say, oh my God, I have no idea what an NFT is. Just go to the general channel in the Discord. So what is an NFT? You have hundreds of different folks. You have blockchain engineers, crypto engineers, cryptographers, and people of all walks of life, artists and all that, that will answer your questions and walk with you. If you want to jump in a video call with them, if you want to create a chat with them, because the Discord allow all of these things to happen until you educate yourself. And that's what it is. It's a dynamic community where anyone can learn what they want. That's why I created it that way. Okay. Right? So anyone, for example, let's say you say, man, yeah, I'm hearing about this meme coin, all this nonsense. I want to learn about this stuff. I want to invest in crypto. I want to know where to put my money. I want to know where the market is heading. All that stuff is available in that space. The first thing you need a community of like-minded individuals. Okay. So, the brothers and sisters I'm speaking with here, you guys have the information for the radio station. Yes, sir. They know, and you're a member, brother. You're a member of the Discord server. Yes. So please, in your site and all, man, just publish it. Let the community join, man. We will welcome we will welcome everybody with open arms in the Alchemist Club Studios Discord server to walk you through it. But let me just go back to answer your question. The investment right now, if I was somebody getting in, the first thing I would do first is to secure a Web3 wallet. Like I said, the easiest way to start. Start with Coinbase. At least get your feet wet. Once you start there, my advice would be next. Take a little money, put a little $20, $30, buy a little bit of Bitcoin, a little bit of Ethereum, a little bit of Solana, a little bit of those different cryptos. So at least you can start to navigate and understand how that space works. Mm-hmm. Once you start to build, then I would advise you start getting into serious heavy duty stuff. Then the next step would be to, have a non-custodial wallet, like something you can manage, like a MetaMask or Phantom, those kinds of wallets, because then now you already understand what's happening. But in the beginning, mm-hmm. you should just get what we call a custodial wallet. Is that like a Coinbase? I highly recommend the audience and start with there, because it will help you, because you're already on Cash App, you're already on Venmo. It's easier to get you on board, and then from there, we keep it moving.
Okay. And so, what is Web3, man?
I was going to ask that.
A beautiful question. Let me just break it. It's very easy. Again, I'm a teacher, man. Like, somebody asks a question, I just bring it down to like my kindergartners will understand what I'm talking about. Web 1, when Web 1 came out in the early 90s, right? Mm-hmm. If you notice, the AOL, all this nonsense. What happened with Web 1, right? It was just a lot of information was there. Somebody created a website, right? Mm-hmm. And you just read. Whatever the person, whatever you go to a website, you just consuming content. That's what a Web 1 is, because you couldn't do anything. You just go to the website in the 95, 96, 97. You just read, you get information. That was Web 1. You just consuming. Web 1 is a consuming space. Web 2, what happened with Web 2, then this is when you get your Facebooks, right? You get these things where you're not only consuming, now you can interact, right? You can go in there, you can start writing stuff down, you can post a picture and all of that stuff, right? So this become Web 2. Web 2 become a space where you're not only consuming, but you can communicate and become a social space where you can interact with people. Now, Web 3 is where the magic happened. Now you can own something. Web 3 is all about assets, ownership. Okay, you're no longer a slave no more to Facebook, who just take all your data. You over here, like a lot of our people on, as you know, on IG and Facebook and Twitter and TikTok. And what the algorithm is doing to Black and brown people, it feeds them all the garbage they can take
That's
in.
A fact.
You go in there, and what happened? It locked them in. They become a slave to it. Like a lot of brothers, like, we like the pretty girls. You know what I'm saying? So you go over there, you see somebody with a little body you like. Before you know it, you get 1 million hit, and before you know it, you don't even want to eat, man. You over on IG all day and night.
Right.
You shut your brain down. You don't want to work. You don't want to do nothing. Brothers will plug out. You know what I'm saying? Because the algorithm got you, man. He got you right there. So that's the sickness of what the system are able to do in the Web 2 space. Trap your mind and keep you slave to it. What Web 3 is able to do now is a wake up call. Say, wait a minute. Now you can beyond being an influencer, you can own your assets. If I'm a musician, I'm an artist, and I create a piece of art, what Web 3 is able to let me do, I can sell my art now. But I don't need to go to the harbor sharks who are going to take 70% of your money and give you 30%. I could say, wait a minute. I could sell directly to my customers. I can create an NFTs, and I can sell it to them on Lamina One, for example, which we'll talk about a little bit, because I'm very heavy on Lamina One. I'm one of the top ambassadors, right? Or you can go to OpenSea, any of these open market spaces. You can mint your NFTs and you sell it. Again, Web3 is freedom. You own your assets. You own your IP. That's why it's so powerful. So I hope that I cleared up for you.
So is that something you have to download, or, I mean, how do you get onto to Web3?
Oh, sure. Web3. Okay. So for Web3, for example, let's say you're an artist, right? There's a lot of artists listening here, a lot of creative people. You have an art piece, or you have a music, or whatever you're selling, any product. You might be selling a book, for example. Let's say you're a writer, you're selling a book. It's easy in a sense. I'm going to show you how you do it. If I'm selling a book right now, I can just download a MetaMask wallet, right? Just go to MetaMask, M-E-T-A, mask, M-A-S-K, metamask.com, right?
Okay.
You download a MetaMask wallet, and you just go to OpenSea, open as the word open, C as C, OpenSea.com. And once you go to OpenSea, it's going to tell you to connect with your Web3 wallet. The Web3 wallet is not hard to understand. All it is like if I have a Gmail account, right? And I just put, my Gmail is whatever, like Johnny@gmail.com. A wallet is the same thing. The wallet is just your username and password. Okay. The only difference is it's become your, we call it, we use this catchy word, right? Your Web3 wallet. So it throw everybody off. It's just, in order to be in Web3, you need to have a wallet. Okay. In Web2, you need an email, right? In Web3, you need a wallet. Same thing. We just switching an email to a wallet. It's your way to log in. That's all it means. So let's say I have this Web3 wallet or my Web3 email, if you want to label like that, and I connect to OpenSea, right? I'm selling a book. You know what I could do? I can take a picture of my book, just like if you were selling a book, you go to Amazon and upload your book. I take a picture of the face of a front cover of my book, and I sell 1,000. Let's say I make 1,000 NFTs. What is the NFT? NFT is nothing fancy. It's just a certificate. It's just a proof that if somebody buy a copy of my book, right? All they do is, okay, fine. They go to OpenSea. They buy the NFT. What all the NFT does is just show that the person owned the book. When they buy the NFT, then I can mail them the book. Because if let's say I'm selling my book for $30, you go to OpenSea to my account, you buy one NFT from me, and I get the money. All I do, I have your information, I send you the book, I mail you the book. Okay? So now let me give you an example. Let's say now my book go viral. You pay $30 for this book. You own the NFT. The book go viral. Everybody want a copy of this book. Let's say me as the writer of the book, I'm very smart. I say this book will only sell 1,000 copy, right? But the book go viral. Now everybody want a copy of this book. Now one of the people that purchased the NFTs, they can say, well, I have a copy of it. I'm selling my NFT for $1,000. You see where this? We see the power of this thing. So now, because they own a copy of the book, they pay $30. Now they could sell the NFT for $1,000. They made $970. And when somebody now purchased it, that person who now purchased the NFT from them, they send the person the NFT, and then they send the person the book. You see? Okay. So what the NFT does is just a way of representing ownership.
Okay. So is this only for digital products or tangibles?
It applies to anything.
Okay.
It could be digital product or anything. If I'm an artist, I make an art. Let's say I make a digital art. I upload my art on OpenSea or any other a Web3 marketplace. If somebody go purchase the art, right? Let's say I can make a one-of-one art. If a piece of art is very special, I can make a piece of art I'm a famous artist. I say I'm only going to sell one copy of this piece of art, and I sell it for $5,000, right? When somebody purchased that art, the art will leave my account, my wallet, and goes to that person's wallet. It's the same thing if I have money in my Cash App, right? And I'm sending $30 to someone. I get the person Cash App information, right? And I send them the $30. That $30 is no longer in my account.
Right.
That $30 belonged to that person I sent it to. And I cannot get it back unless that person sent it back to me, correct?
Right.
Same thing. So if I have a piece of art, I'm selling it, somebody purchased it, the minute I send them the art, the NFT that's the art, they owned it because now it's in their wallet.
So, excuse me, Dr. R. So can you say, all right, if this one book, right? Can you sell multiple people the book
course.
with the okay.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, because think about it. If I write a book, I say I'm going to sell 1 million copy of it.
Okay.
I just make 1 million NFTs.
Oh, I see now. Okay.
You see?
I see.
Wow. But here's where the power come in. I no longer need to go to Amazon. I can sell it directly to my clients, to my fans.
So is there a fee to create NFTs? Those 1 million NFTs?
Yes. But it's a small fee.
Okay.
It's a small little fee. You might pay a 5 cents or 1 cent.
Okay.
I'd rather pay that than paying Amazon 70 cents on every dollar.
That's a fact. Yes, sir. That's
We're not
interesting.
playing.
Here's what I think for the artist or whomever is selling something. I
Yes.
think the power comes in if that individual is able to create, maybe if they learn the Java and understand all of those
Yes.
things, if they learn
Yes.
to create their own MetaMask wallet, if I can say it that way, so therefore they own.
You don't need to create no Java.
Oh, you don't?
Don't forget all that. No, you don't need all that, man. Leave that to the coders. Leave that to the developer. No. What happened is we at a point right now. When you go to your Cash App or you're writing JavaScript, you just go in there. Okay, so the market now is at a point where we want to make the tech disappear. Okay. The tech disappear where the person, if I'm an artist, I don't have time to worry about all these details. But you do have some people, because they might be inquisitive. They want to know, right? The way the Alchemist Club Studio Discord server is built, we do it on multiple levels. If you're a person, you just want to learn it, you just want to transact, you want to just get your stuff and empower yourself, great. If you say, wait a minute, Dr. R, I want to learn how to write a smart contract, welcome to the club. We have people for you, too. You know, it depends on what you want to do.
Yes,
but
sir.
we're not going to force anyone to say, in order for you to be here, you got to learn how to code. No. You come where you are. You pick. You eat as much as you can. Drink as much as you can.
I see.
We're not playing.
Man, I like that, man. I mean, it's almost a whole new language. You know what I mean?
This is it,
to
brother.
learn, man. But you break it down so layman that I feel like I'm an expert already. You know what I mean?
I'm a teacher, man. I told you before I start. I told you I'm a teacher.
Yeah, man.
I'm a teacher.
I'm ready to go,
That's
man.
what I do.
I'm inspired and all. I mean, so
You're on the server already, bro. You're on the server, man. I'm gonna send you a link.
Okay.
I'm gonna send you a link that never expires.
Okay, awesome.
So what you'll do? So, sister, you gotta join us, man.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
definitely.
join us, okay? I'm gonna, I'm forwarding you guys a link, and we got people that will walk you through it. Whatever you want to learn, it's a school. The web, what I created. Let me just tell you. I know the time is at hand for us here. Let me share with you why I created this portal.
okay.
You see, this is why. We are living in a world where my philosophy is very simple. I don't give a chicken feet. If a kid is sitting at Harvard under a sycamore tree, and I have another kid that's sitting in Nigeria or Ghana or Senegal under a baobab tree, what I want to create a world where they have access to the same information.
Right.
Okay? So at that point, that nepotism must die. Because you reach a point now where it's a question of cognitive ability. Okay? You shouldn't be limited because you in Africa or wherever you are in the Caribbean elsewhere, because you don't have access to what this kid at Harvard has. You find yourself eating chicken feet for dinner. It doesn't work like that anymore. That world must die, and we're gonna kill it. And I'm gonna kill it.
Wow.
You know
I'm
earlier.
not playing.
Earlier you said something like, "Our people are destroyed from lack." Is that what you said?
Say that again.
I think earlier you were saying something like you quoted some scripture. For some reason, I feel like you said our peoples are destroyed from a lack of knowledge.
It's the book of Jeremiah, man. Our people are destroyed
from a lack of
Lamentation
knowledge.
Jeremiah. That's what the problem is.
Right. So
That's what the problem is.
just to backtrack to that a little bit.
Sure.
When it comes to the Bible, I know I grew up in a very religious setting.
Okay.
And there used to always be talks about the mark of the beast. And it'll be a chip that's put into your hand or into your head or something. Is that a real thing? Right. Like you being in the tech world and all of that? Do you see that being developed anywhere? Or
That's a good question.
Brother, I'll put it to you this way. You're talking to a man who has read Genesis to Revelation to Genesis, or read the lost books,
right.
or read any book that existed. If the Vatican has it, they hide it under a rock. I'll find it.
Okay.
The problem we have, the Bible is a living book. What happened? People take a lot of stuff in the book of Revelation, and they're trying to think they can understand these books. There was silence in heaven when the seventh seal was open. Any Rastafari in here, they understand the books. What happened is we are at a point right now where there's cycles to this thing. The book of Revelation, the truth that's in it, it's these cycles of life that reality you have to go through. Okay? Let me give you a perfect example. In the book of Revelation, talk about Leviathan. Leviathan is a beast, okay, that will rise from the sea. And a lot of people look at it in terms of this powerful Goliath of nations, or whether it's the U.S. and the other France and England and all of those, who, still keep our people in bondage and chains. But the issue here is I look at it from a different perspective. Leviathan is a living reality. We live in a world where the market forces that drive people's life, which is driven by money as the driver, is the real Leviathan. You understand? So you reach a point where the blockchain and the crypto and all of that stuff, we as human beings, we're just evolving to another reality.
Wow.
Real soon, what's going to happen? Remember, I told you that. Real soon, what's going to happen? The idea of something being intelligent, the neural network and AI and where this thing is heading, you're going to be able to not even recognize a machine from a human being real soon. Because those of us who are in the machine learning and deep learning space, we already know we've made a great discovery, and it's a shock to us because we understand now how the mind works. We understand how intelligence works. Intelligence is nothing but mathematics. All of thing that we thought we understood, we have found a way to design minds artificially. And this is the heavy stuff I'm telling you, because I've been in AI for 30 plus years. I never thought I would live to see what I'm seeing. We're just scratching the surface. You have a machine learning scientist. His name is Jeffrey Hinton. They call him the godfather of AI. He just won the Nobel Prize for this stuff. This man don't even sleep at night. And he can't even sleep. He can't sleep because he realized he has become Prometheus because he gave men fire. He gave men the knowledge of fire. And he realized the danger. Albert Einstein faced the same thing in the 1950s because when he found the law of relativity, he understood the power, what happened if you unleash the power of the nuclear energy of the atom. You could use it for good or evil. And what humanity did, they used it to make hydrogen bombs and fusion and fission bombs. And he just, he just couldn't take it because knowledge is like a match, right? You can light it up to either warm up a room to keep everybody warm, or you could burn the house down, right? So it's not the knowledge that's good or evil. It's us human beings that have to have a mind shift. So in other words, I'm going really back and forth, Bible, all of this stuff with you. The scripture, I'm going to leave you with one last thing.
Okay.
Black and brown people, the thing with the Bible, and I'm going to be honest here, man. You know, you have a lot of these scribes and Pharisees in the churches, whether they're in Jamaica or in Haiti or in Africa, and they hold the people in chains. Instead of using the books, and they know better. They know better. They know because they study the books. Instead of using the books to free the people, they use the books to keep the people in chains. You understand what I'm saying?
That's a sad
and that's
fact.
where Rastafari come in, you know? And a Rasta is a person who one day you were born a Rastafari. One day you just wake up because Jah just snatch you up to do the Rasta work.
Right.
You understand? I'm a Rasta. If I walk up the street, you might see like I'm fashion. I'm not wearing no heavy duty locks, but don't test the Rasta, man. Be careful.
Absolutely.
I'm a psalmist, man. I walk into space. You know, you tell me to recite any chapter in the book of Psalms, it lives in my heart. All 150 chapters are recorded in my heart. So you know, it's not you know, you don't have to be dread to be Rasta. You know, we got to get away from that ideology. It's Rasta is a function of the heart. You know, you reach a point where your heart has to be lighter than the feather, man. You understand? Man, you know, let me not, you know, I don't want to go there.
You're going deep into the sciences, man. You're going deep into the sciences.
You know, but it all add up again.
Yes,
Our
sir.
people are destroyed by the lack of knowledge,
Yes, sir.
man.
Yes,
we need
sir.
to wake up the people. The churches, anybody that's here, listen to the doc here. The churches have done us a lot of wrong, man.
That's
The
a
Revelation said that, man. It tell you the churches, man. If the Revelation punished the churches because in the book of Job, remember when Job when Job came to pray, you know, and all of the pious came to pray, where was the devil? He was there. And they asked him, where are you coming from? He said, I'm coming from walking all up and down the earth.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for the devil, man, the devil's not in the club. Why? But you already got those people. You know where he's at? He's in the church, bro.
Right.
Exactly.
Hey, yo.
Go ahead.
So just real quick before we get off the Bible.
Talk to me. Yeah.
The Bible says, as a scientist, the Bible says, prove all things. Would you say that science fulfills that scripture?
Look,
Prove
science.
Yeah,
Science. There's no difference. A person who is if you're a man of God, you're a man of consciousness. There's a point you reach, you become a spiritual man. Bob Marley was a mystic, and so are the others, and all right. He's a scientist because it's the same thing. There's a point you reach in science where you become a natural mystic. Because you see everything for what it is. When I look at light, I know what light is. When I look at a cup of water, I don't see water. I know what it is. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a point in the level you reach in the sciences. The Bible is a living book. You get it. You know, only then can you make sense of the books. Otherwise, you're fooling yourself. You know what I'm saying? And somebody was everything is there. It's there. But people are reading it. Sometimes they get caught up in the metaphor. But it's not that easy to make sense of it, man. It's a book that the knowledge in there, the truth is there. But your heart has to be clean and open and do good, man. And all will be revealed unto thee. You know,
absolutely.
That's it.
Awesome. I have one more question. I know it is now, 27 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. If you're just logged on, this is www.afjamradio.com. With me is Fira Styles. I am tagging along with him this afternoon. And our very, very special guest is Dr. Ronelus, of course. And he is a scientist. And I mean, I don't need to reintroduce him. But here's a question I want to ask you, Doc. When you look at the past, for example, the people who built the pyramids, the people who were able to do the rain dance, the people who were able to decide, okay, so if you want a boy child, if you watch the cycle of the moon, you can understand when to, you know, and the procreation and also when to plant this and when to plant that. Now, when you look at what the age that we are in now, AI,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Do you think that there is such a wide gap between the ancestors or the people of Kemet to these people now that, or do you think it's the same information being regurgitated in a different format?
It's the same consciousness. It's the same consciousness. The only difference now is we live in an age where, men understand the sciences. Because what happened is, for example, let's say we are quickly reaching a point, right, where, for example, if a woman trying to conceive, she might be running into all kinds of difficulties and all. But real soon, there will be no more problems with those things, because if a person going to artificial insemination, we in the AI space, we know it's a question of attachment to the uterus. But the science is showing us all the chemical complexities that make an embryo not attached. So then you eradicate that. So that's gone, right? Diseases. You have another scientist right now who he is the CEO of this Google, one of subdivision of Google called DeepMind. And he just recently did a video that is all over the internet. He said something that's very powerful. He said in 10 years from now, all 10 year plus, all diseases will be eradicated. It's true. Sickle cell anemia is, as you know, is a disorder that impacts people of African descent. But since the 1970s, we know how to cure sickle cell anemia. I'm a biochemist. It's a very simple, a slight change in one amino acid. You fix that problem. You could genetically engineer and fix it, where you get rid of sickle cell anemia, right?
Wow.
And I myself, at one point in my life, I was doing molecular genetics. I wanted to be the person that find a cure for sickle cell anemia. I was about to go to medical school to go pursue a degree, an MD, PhD in molecular genetics. The forces pulled me in the other direction to go into teaching to raise a million little me. You understand? That's what I'm doing, Board of Ed and beyond. But to answer your question, soul sister, what I'm saying here is there's no difference between the mystics, between the rain dance, between all those inner circles and those of the chemic mystical systems that understood the science. The only difference is you have to remember, back in the days, those knowledge were guarded, where only those who are initiated into the higher order can have access to that. What we have now, we have an open source world where knowledge is free. Anyone that's willing and want to learn, that stuff is available to all. And that's the power of the internet, and that's the power of this Web3 space we're moving in, where what was hidden from the wise and prudent shall be revealed to the babe and suckling, and that's where we are.
Hey, man, I'm sitting over here piecing things in my head right now. You say that you're in, like, molecular biology?
Yes.
Okay, so there was a sister. Her name was Henrietta Lacks,
Yes,
and they
correct.
took her, I think it was her DNA, and her cells, and cloned it, and all of this. And then I'm thinking about that, and then you was talking about how they're creating brains and
of course,
stuff like that. And then I'm thinking about I think 23andMe just sold their company, and they had all of that DNA that they have in their records. I mean, what do you? I mean, I know they do some unscrupulous, crazy things behind closed doors. Like, where's clone? And I think you even said earlier they got robots. You really can't even tell that they're robots. I mean, where's this? Where's all this going? Like, do you think?
Going?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what's going. That's a great question, and this is why I'm here. I'm here to warn the nations of the danger of where it might go if we're not careful. You see, here's the danger. All of these fanciness and all of that, I kind of said it before when I mentioned this guy flying to Mars, build a colony, and use the Earth as a battery like the Matrix. I'll tell you where it's going. If we're not careful, what's going to happen here is, because remember one thing, let me just backtrack a little bit. Right now, I'm in New York City, right? There's no more Metro cards. any kid anywhere right now, if you take your son, your daughter to McDonald's, they're not waiting on no line for you. The kids go to the app, they order their food, they pick it up, right?
Right.
Anybody that want to order their food, they just order and go. So let's do the math. You go to the supermarket, they have the automatic system. You can just scan your food and go. Amazon has a store now. You can just grab your food, throw it in your bag. You walk out, they bill you, right? So you're reaching a point soon where the average person who have no skills, they're going to find themselves begging for bread. So because those jobs are obsolete, those people are invalid in society. So what they're going to do? They won't be able to function in this world anymore, right? So, but here's the deal. Who is going to be the zillionaires? Forget billion. We talk about trillionaires soon. And that's where, our boy Musk is heading. Right. The thing is, you're reaching a point, even Elon Musk, right? When somebody take you call Uber, you take a Tesla system, the drivers who are driving the Teslas, they literally are cooking their own feet in the fire. Because when you drive a Tesla, what happened is the system has all these sensors. They're using the car to train the AI, so eventually the AI don't even need the driver.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's what's happening. So the danger is you're going to have these Goliath of wealth, these super trillionaires, because they own the assets, right? They own the IPs. They're going to have more money than God on earth. And then you're going to have a point where the wealth gap is going to be impossible to fix, because you're going to have those who are super rich. And at the very bottom, you have people who can't even afford a piece of bread. And whoever control the IP, whoever control the assets, they win. And if we allow this Web3 to go that way, and I'm telling you, man, it's going to be a dystopia space. And people like myself and others who are brave hearts, we're here to wake up the people so that they can start to wake up, be like, wait a minute, why should I give all my data to this Goliath for free? Privacy's out the window. And there's a way around it. Web3 is the answer. You no longer have to real soon be a slave to the system. You can be a self-sovereign individual.
So let me ask you this then.
Okay.
Where is America at in comparison, in contrast to China as far as technology?
Man, brother, you ask a heavy-duty question, man. This is geopolitical, but I'll answer it this way. Right now, man, listen, we're in trouble here, man. We're in trouble. I'm gonna tell you what happened, or how China woke up. A lot of people don't know the story, what happened. Remember, I was telling you about DeepMind and this guy who came up with this idea. They're going to have this system where all diseases eradicate. All right, it's the same fella right there. DeepMind, what DeepMind did, DeepMind belongs to Google, okay? DeepMind came up with an idea. What they did, they trained this AI system to compete in games like chess. And there's China and the Asian countries, they have this game that's a 2,000-year-old game called the game of Go. It's called Go, G-O. This game, my friend, one of the top players, the master of this game, Lee Soto, who's from over there in Asia. What Google did, Google created an AI system that master how to play this game. This game, in order to be a master at this game, is almost impossible because the computation mathematically is almost impossible to master that game. You know what happened?
What's that?
They had a competition with the top player over there in Asia that play against Google AlphaGo. The machine was called AlphaGo. It's an AI Google program. The world was stunned. China was stunned. The AI beat the best player in Go.
Wow.
That was it. That was the wake up call for China. China was like the WTF moment,
right? And
they were like, "Holy moly, we gotta wake up!" And what China did, they started pumping billions of dollars into AI.
Wow.
AI. Until now, China has become a force to reckon with. So the two big players right now in the AI space is the U.S. and China. China just the Chinese government just put out a publication where every kid in China from pre-K on, they want them to learn AI, not just some flimsy nonsense, but they want those kids to learn how to program systems, how to become AI engineers, how to really understand what AI is. And yesterday, as you read, and I sent you guys the stuff, there's an executive order Trump pumped out in the world called AI in education. Mm-hmm. And the same thing. So to answer that question, China and the U.S., they are heads in head, man. Think of two Goliath fighting a war right now. So that's where it is, man. That's where we are.
Okay, and maybe this is going to be the last question from me.
Talk to me.
Okay, so the students or even adults in New York, how are they responding to what you're teaching?
Okay, beautiful question. Well, the Alchemist Club Studios, I have kids who are the lucky ones who sees Dr. R every day in the flesh. And let me just backtrack a little bit to tell you a snippet of me. I started teaching high school, and I left it. I said, Jesus, we're dead. We're in trouble. And I went to junior high school. It was worse. I said, Lord, help us. We're in trouble. When I got to elementary school, I started to go to the pre-K classes and kindergarteners, and I removed the teacher hat, and I started playing with the blocks with the kids on the floor, building castles, teaching them little logic puzzles and all of that stuff, because I realized we cannot build our house on sand. The problem we have in the system is we start too late. By the time a kid gets to high school, if you're trying to get this kid into the sciences, it's game over. Every now and then you'll have a kid who's cerebral genius. They would have made it anyway without any teacher because they're just naturally gifted like that.
Right.
But if you want a massive change, you want to revolutionize education, you got to start from the bottom up. And that's why the Alchemist Club Studios, I create a system where the kids start in elementary school, and then as they moving up to junior high school and college, I create a network where everybody's together in the server. Oh, you see what I'm doing?
Beautiful.
And then once man, that's what we do. And then what I'm doing now is beyond. That's why I call it decentralized education. I open the server to anybody all over, anywhere in the world who want to learn where the world is heading. And the server is a school. We have a decentralized school where you can learn whatever the topic is you're interested in. The knowledge is available to you.
So how do people reach out to you, brother?
Man, listen, brother, man. They got you. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm going to send you that information. If you go to LinkedIn, you just type Dr. Dr. My last name is Ronelus, Ronelus. You just go to Google. Or you can just go to our website is alchemistclubstudios with a S.com. Okay, I'll spell it ALCHEMISTCLUBSTUD as in David IOS.com. Alchemist Club Studios. And if you get there, you just Google Alchemist Club Studios. I have a link there with the Discord server, and you'll see the magic that's happening in New York.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And they can also get to the Discord through those platforms?
Yep. Okay. There's a link right there. You just click on it. It takes you straight to the Discord server, and you have all my information there.
Yes,
you can
sir.
hit me up, whatever. I'm there.
Awesome. Yeah, because I think we could probably go on for a long time on this one.
Man, well, this is just the first session, man.
Yes, sir.
You invite me back again.
Yes, sir.
And Let's do it, man. It can't be a one-off, man.
Right.
We got to wake up the people, bro. This is just the beginning.
Absolutely. And I'm trying to wake
down with you, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to wake myself up on this as well, man.
Man, you already woke up, brother.
Yeah.
You guys are good, bro. You already up, man. You up and go. You on the Discord server, man.
Yes, sir. That's a fact. That's a fact. Man, do you have any last words for the people, bro?
Yeah, man. All I'll say is this. When Jesus was in the garden, after that man took the 33 pieces of silver and came and kissed him on the cheek, and he said something very powerful a lot of people missed. He said, let a man sell his garment to buy a sword. It's there in the Garden of Gethsemane. So he said, let a man sell his garment to buy a sword. And we are quickly reaching that point. We black and brown people, we're reaching a point soon where if we do not get on board with this Web3 train, with where the world is going, these folks already got the game mapped out, but it's early. It's early. The train is about to leave the station soon. We need to get on board. There's no more time to sleep in bed. Black and brown people, they need to wake up. Forget IG. I know the girl looks great. I know she got her makeup done. Oh my God, the algorithm got you. Before you know it, you plug into this nonsense, and your brain is plugged out, man. You don't even want to learn anything anymore because you plug every day. You wake up to the same nonsense. We need to stop that. Educate yourself and get ready for what's coming, because each one teach one. We have work to do for the people. I'm only one person, but I'm all my life, man. I love my people so much. I love everybody. I'm a humanist, man. Right. But you know what? We in trouble, man. We ain't got no time to play. So let's go. The doc is here, man. Hit me up.
Let's go. Well, I appreciate it, Dr. Ronelus, man. We'll definitely have you back. I appreciate your time. And until next time, brother.
All right, brother.
Peace.
And sister.
Thank you so much.
We'll catch up.
We will.
Man, you got it. Jump on the server, all right?
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir. Yes, definitely.
All right, I'm out.
All right, peace and blessings. Bye-bye.
Peace and blessings.
Yes.
Jah love.
Jah love.
Man, that was beautiful.
Wow.
Got my brain ticking a million miles a minute right now. Man, again, there's always a rabbit hole created that we can go down. And, time is just, when you look up, the time is just fleeing. You know what I mean? But we definitely need to have Dr. Ronelus back on again. Tap into his Discord as well. You know what I mean? Make sure you touch base with him online and educate yourselves, man. That's what I plan on doing. And because I'm trying to get some of this digital money. Yeah, I think you like that. We were talking about them books.
I'm telling you. NFTs, the Conqueror's Quest.